Joe is watching this crazy guy named Joshua on the Dr. Phil show. Why is he crazy? He thinks he's Jesus Christ. At first he says he's a prophet, and then he says he's the living Christ himself. And we were supposed to go to the gym since 3 o'clock. Right now it's 3:53 and we haven't gone yet because we're so fixated with this idiot. There's definitely something mentally wrong with him, or he's playing the fool, okay? So Dr. Phil is treating him much like he's playing the fool. I don't think Dr. Phil thinks there's anything really wrong with the guy. So I asked Joe to mute the TV just now so I can talk with you guys really quickly. And Joe changed the channel, then he went back. You don't know where mute is on the remote. So we're gonna leave probably at 4 to go to the gym. Sam, I'm gonna take your advice. I'm not gonna do any of those machines that I think made my shoulder worse. Because I believe my shoulder started from vlogging. And then when the pain started, it was in the shoulder blade. So I thought I could go to the gym and work it out, but I didn't work it out. I made it worse. So what I'm going to do is just go and do the one machine that you press down with your arms, because that really seemed to help when I was doing it before. And then just do all lower body and just cardio. Even though I'm not in pain right now because the, what are they giving me? The steroids. The steroids are working. So I can't really tell you I have any type of pain right now. But I do know it's because of the medication, and my shoulder still needs time to heal. And once it's healed, I'm not going to hold the camera up like that anymore. I'm just going to always be on a selfie stick. So Dr. Phil's coming back from commercials right now, so that's all the time Joe gave me to talk with you guys right now. I'll be back. Joe says they're building this bridge in Cayo, Belize. You guys see this bridge right here? I think my dad's dad was instrumental in its construction back in the day. It's called Warhead Bridge. And they put a new bridge there, so my dad took this picture before they broke this one down. But it's somewhere in these shrubberies that they found that guy's body. The one that I told you guys about a couple vlogs ago. That they murdered and tossed his body somewhere in these shrubbery. It's very ominous. Joe, the TV's not really off. The TV's not really off. You turn off the box but not the TV. So we're off to the gym, guys. I seriously hate the 4th of July. Not because of what it represents, but because of fireworks. Alright guys, so it's getting dark now and I want to put on no lamp. So let's handle this. I texted the lady, is texted a word? That's a word, right? I texted the lady at 6 o'clock to tell her that we still had the car and that we were still on to meet with her at 7:30 for her to come see it. And she didn't respond right away. So I was like, man, you know, she could be driving home from work. She did say she leaves work kind of late. But, you know, customers on a whole, they'll leave you hanging. And I would rather a customer come and see the car and not buy it than for them to have me waiting all day preparing for, you know, to show the car, and they don't even call and tell you they're not going to come no more. So when I texted her, because I texted her at 9 in the morning and she said she was still on, and I told her if something should happen during the day and I no longer have the car, I would let you know right away because I don't want to waste your time. And she said thank you. Because if somebody came before now, I would have showed the car and sold it. I don't play because a lot of people will string you along and leave you holding the bag, right? So then I texted her at 6 in the evening. And I told her that we still had the car and that we were looking forward to seeing her at 7:30. Just to make sure nobody came, you know. And let's see. She texted at 7:02, and then she said she's gonna be heading out in a short while. She's coming from like 30 miles away from Pomona, and so I sent her, you know, where we're gonna meet, and then she said she's gonna put it in the phone to get the navigation, and she'll be here shortly. So. Crossing my fingers, my eyes on my toes. The only way I think this lady wouldn't buy this car is if she didn't come with the intention to buy the car, because really and truly our prices are always very negotiable and we don't play hardball and hard nose or whatever you call it, right Josh? We're always willing to make a deal, unless if I have the car listed, let's put an odd number. If I have the car listed for $4,000 and they come and they offer me $2,000, then that's stupid. You know what I mean? And I can't sell my car for that. But I'm just saying that we always try to get the cars moving, because if the car sits here longer, it ties me up from getting another car and another profit. Because you can only make so much profit out of these cars. So anyways, I did not overwork my shoulder. I only did one machine, very light. I usually can do like 40 to 50 pounds on that machine that you push down. I did 15 pounds because that's the lowest the thing would go. And I pushed, didn't make sure I didn't hurt it. I didn't do nothing for the upper part like that. Nothing where you pull this way, push that way, nothing like that. I did all lower body and I did cardio. When I did go on a treadmill, I noticed a position that I put my hand when I'm holding onto the treadmill that was causing the pain. I tend to like hold on to the side and then I lock my shoulder and my elbow. And I think that might be causing some of the problem too. I didn't realize I did that before I had that pain. I could feel a little bit of, not really pain, but a little bit of ache come in. And you guys know that I'm not having pain because of the steroids. So I have to make sure this heals while I'm taking these steroids or I'll be back to pain at the end of the 5 days. So I'm still putting the ice and stuff and treat it just like if I had pain. And I'm making sure I'm not overdoing it, but I did notice that position. So when I'm better, I'm going to make sure that I don't put my arm in that position to hold on to the treadmill, you know? So you kind of have to notice what you're doing in your everyday life when you're getting old, because you can't really stand, you know, certain things that you do anymore. Oh, am I the only one getting old? I've been so bogged down with editing today that I really don't even know how much I vlogged today. Sometimes I don't know how much I vlogged until I put the clips together and I start editing. So the lady came. I'm so glad she kept her word, because all too often when you're dealing with these customers, like Michael says, these crackhead customers, and don't get me wrong, I don't know that these customers are on crack, but if they're talking to you all day about coming to see a car and they're so excited about it, and when the time comes they don't show up, what am I to believe, you know? They probably just found another car someplace else and don't have the, you know, the decency to come back and tell me anything. So at least she came. She kept her word. She came. She brought her brother and a nephew. Can't even talk right now. And I think they really like the car, but I don't really think she brought money to buy a car tonight. Who does that? You know, I don't go look at a car with no money in my hand. You go do that at the dealer. You know, even that I don't do anymore. So she says, well, my husband has to approve of it. He lives in Vegas. I don't know what she's doing here working. And I have 4 little kids, and we really need for the van to have rear air. I'm like, who turns down a car for rear air? That because it doesn't have rear air. You know, I was lucky when I got that Tahoe and it had air in the back. I was like, dang, I just fixed the AC and it has cold air going through the whole thing. I didn't say that to her because I don't try to convince people. But when she said that, I realized this lady didn't bring any money to buy any cars. She's just looking. And she goes, he comes down on the weekend, so maybe I'll come back. I'm like, what she thinks she at the dealer? This thing's going to be gone because I need for it to be gone, because we need to flip this to bring in some income, because guess what? In 2 days, it's the first, all right? So anyways, what was I editing today? A lot of shows. I'm editing a kids try video with the kids trying the stuff that Sam sent. I'm editing 2 eating videos. Jada got something from Pollo Loco and we went to Chabalita, as you know. And then I have 2 review videos because I have to really start working my review channel, because I can't even submit a quote from there. I'm valued at $142 there, and I can't submit a quote from there because I only have like 5,000 subscribers. You need to have 10,000. And I'm not finna buy no subscribers, because I know people that do that, but I'm not going to do that. God will work it out. Speaking of God, because I have to encourage my own self, I had to encourage my 2 partners in here today, Josh and Joe, because they were very disappointed. Like, man, we thought this was going to be gone today. Such a nice car. So because I've had to encourage them, and now I have to build me up and encourage my own self, I want to let you guys know that the teacher never talks during the test, okay? Jesus is the teacher. And when he's testing you, when God is testing you, he doesn't talk. Just like any test that you take with any natural teacher on this earth, they don't talk. They don't teach the lessons then. They stay quiet so you can take the test. So if you're going through something right now, it could be your health, it could be your finances, it could be your kids, your spouse acting up, whatever. If you have a nest that has a whole bunch of thorns in it right now, just remember that your test will become a testimony. I know whatever we're going through right now is financial, and that will change. It'll change. God doesn't come when you want him to, but he is always on time. He's never late. So even though things kind of look dire for me because I really wanted to sell that car tonight, it's not the end of the world. I was able to pay my website. I called them up and I told them I don't want to pay for this whole year. It's choking me off. So they allowed me to pay for 3 months. I would have never known if things didn't get this tight that they allowed that. So I can breathe again for 3 months until I can figure what I want to do with this website. If I want to change it completely, stop it completely, which I don't think that will ever happen because I need to have that one email that's linked to my YouTube. Oh my God. So anyways, I think I told you guys a story about gold already, right? When the, what's the name of the guy that refines the gold, Joe? The smelter? We're going to say the smelter because I don't know the word. When the smelter is smelting the gold, the gold has to go in at high temperature to be refined. And then there's a crud that comes on the top that they call dross. And so they have to scoop that off and find that beautiful refined gold in there. So God is always refining us and purifying us, right? But sometimes some of us are drossy. You know what that means? We have a lot of gunk on us still that we need to get off. And that can come in the form of unforgiveness. If you have somebody that you have not forgiven, sit down and think about that. You don't have to call the person and even say, I forgive you. Just go to God and say, I forgive that person, okay? People think when it comes to forgiving people, you have to actually call that person and say you're forgiven. No, you don't. You could just go to God with that and say, I forgive them, and you release that. And then some of that dross will get off of you, right? Sometimes it comes with just being stingy. You don't want to listen to nobody's problems. You don't want to help anybody out because it's like it's me and mine. And how's the saying go, Joe? It's us three and no more. Us four and no more, I think. It's us four and no more. I think that's a saying that they say in church. You know, so I have to constantly look at me to see, what I'm doing. And I'm telling you guys, every time I feel overwhelmed and pressed down from all corners, I just remember that even though I'm pressed from all sides, I'm not forsaken because God will not forsake me because I'm his child. I'm his child. And it always helps when we go see Osley. There's just everything that all your troubles go away when you're there. And I don't know if it's the knowing that we're not in that situation. You know what I mean? And we don't want to be in that situation. So, yeah. Just remember that. Hold on to, if you're going through something tonight, just hold on because joy will come in the morning. Joy comes, and it's always darkest before the dawn, and joy will come in the morning. Always look towards your joy for tomorrow and just go to sleep peacefully tonight and go, whatever it is, it'll be fixed in the morning when I wake up miraculously. Now, after all that sweet talk, let me end this vlog with this man that's in office. I refuse to call this man's name anymore. Can you believe what he tweeted about that woman today? This man at his core hates women. Because it's like every time he talks about women, he has to talk about where they're bleeding from. You can look at him and see he hates his wife. You can look at his wife and see she hates him. She's in a marriage of convenience. And for her to talk about, I'm going to fight cyberbullying, and then she comes out and says something to defend him with his cyberbullying, I'm like, lady, you talk out of all sides of your mouth. I don't feel sorry for her. I really and truly. She's an abused woman that I don't feel sorry for. And to tell you the truth, I really don't have much patience, when you see somebody going through something, like abuse and stuff like that, because I want to take them and shake them and take them out of the situation. I get so impatient with it that I can just pray from a distance and move on, because if I start getting, involved with somebody who's being abused, I've got some family members right now that I don't even talk to because I see where they're being mentally abused in their marriage, and I'm like, no. I can't go. I've showed you. You see how this works. You know other family members that's been through this, but you don't want to leave him. Then okay, stay with him, and I'll just love you from a distance. And that's how I roll. Sometimes you just can't fix everybody, right? So I'm glad that they staved off the voting on Trump Care, because I really feel that was going to screw us over. And I hope that they don't go on the ground and do it sneakingly and then come back after the 4th of July holiday and screw us over. This Muslim ban thing that they reinstated, it's so wrong. It is so wrong on every level. And we could say, well, that doesn't bother me because I'm not affected by it. I could leave right now to go to Belize, and he could ban Belizeans, and even though I'm a naturalized citizen, I won't be able to come back in to be with my born American kids. So it does affect people at different levels. So anyways, and I forgot who the person was that I was talking to. Oh, why did I forget your name? You know who you are, the one that was talking about you come from Canada, and you said I'm West Indian, and I told you I'm not West Indian. See, I told you. Yeah, well, they teach us that in schools in Belize. That's why I knew that, because they let us know we're not in the West Indies, we're in Central America. And the reason that we have Caribbean music and Caribbean food and the Caribbean culture is because we're bordered by the Caribbean Sea, of course. So we do have a lot of similarities to the foods that's being served in Jamaica, and even in St. Vincent and some of those places. But my friend Ermine, she's from St. Vincent, Ozzy's sister-in-law, she's always like, when I say something weird, she's going, you West Indians talk a lot of weird stuff, because she's a West Indian too. And I'm like, I'm not West Indian. I'm telling you already, I'm not. And then she's all like, okay, I know. Because she had to go look it up too, because she did not believe me. And like I said, the only reason I knew it, of course, is because I was born and raised in Belize, and they teach us our history there. You know what I mean? But hey, we are all sisters from another mister. We're all in a melting pot. I'm so glad to have you support me. And I don't know that I could live in Canada. I don't like the cold. I probably would visit. My dad went to Canada to study. He got his bachelor's in Canada when I was a little kid, back in '68 or something. Yeah, so anyways, I'm going to go finish editing this one for you guys. I love you all so much for watching these videos that I put out every night. As you guys can imagine, it takes a lot of wear and tear on my eyes and stuff to put these videos out. It's, because of vlogging, where my shoulder was messed up. But I'll fix that problem. I'll keep the thing on the selfie stick or on the tripod or whatever. And I'm just really glad to have you guys in my life. I was able to speak with a few of you today. It was just a day where everybody called in. And I think the Holy Ghost just know that I need strengthening sometimes. And then sometimes, it goes both ways. I had calls from regular friends in my regular life, and I had calls from you friends that I made in YouTube. And my phone just went dead after a point because I had so many calls. Yeah, so anyways, I love you all for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow night on June the 30th. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody's birthday tonight, June the 29th. I don't know who. And I hope they're not offended, because sometimes that will happen and then I'll remember the birthday the next day and then people are offended, I try. So, bye guys. See you tomorrow.
When the red button is on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay guys, see, I'm doing it. Ready. He doesn't want to go back on the boat. Splash.
Splash?
Yeah.